All right, and so welcome to the September Nutrition Coordinators meeting. Alrighty, we're heading into fall, which is great. Cooler weather's ahead. Not cold, but hopefully, just cooler where it's not so hot, so we can enjoy the fall. But welcome everybody here, and glad you could make it. And we will go ahead and we'll get started. We'll go around to each area agency and see what's new with you, see how things are going. This is just your time to share any questions, concerns, or events or achievements that you have going on in your area. So we'll go ahead and start. I think who was first on here? I think I don't remember who I saw first. I might have seen, I guess I saw Jill, Aging Partners. Oh no, I saw Lori. It doesn't matter. Jill or Lori, whoever wants to go first.
Well, this is Lori, and there's not much going on here. I've been doing evaluations again. Went out to South Sioux City. They just opened up about a month ago. Got a brand new kitchen. Looks great. They're getting back on their feet, so I'm pretty proud of that one. But otherwise, just been working with the centers, and they're really picking up on their activities and their to-go meals, and their congregant are coming back, so it looks good.
Yeah, that's good to hear about South Sioux City. That's really
Yes,
neat.
it was pretty
Yeah,
good.
I remember you guys were working on that for a while, and that was kind of an issue. So, good to hear that's because that's a decent sized population up there,
Oh, yes, it
in that
is.
corner. So
Yeah.
yeah, very very good.
Yep.
Well, great. Hey, that's good news. Yeah, feel free to share good news. It's always good to have um, good things come up. So awesome. Any questions for Lori at Northeast? All right. If not, we'll go on to Jill, Aging Partners.
Hello. Things are going well here. We also just completed our monitoring visits with our counties, so we did, and those went really well. No big red flags or anything, so that went well. Our in Saline County, they have partnered with Tabitha for Crete for home delivered meals. So she has about close to 15 people on that so far, and that's been going really, really well. So she's possibly looking at maybe some expansion into Crete with other meal services as well. So that's going good. Other than that, everything I think is just pretty much status quo. So not a whole lot since last month. I will be going on maternity leave in about a week, so that's new, I guess.
Well, very good. Well, good luck with everything, Jill. And yep, uh, thank you so much. Yes, if we'll have these recorded and stuff for the next whenever you're gone, we'll have them recorded and put them on our site and everything. But yeah, no, good luck with that. That's a very exciting time, and um, yeah, that'll be really good. So very cool. Well, thank you, Jill, very much. Anybody have questions for Jill at Aging Partners? All right, let's go with Allison at ENOA.
All right, we just had a walkathon fundraiser for our senior centers that we did, and we had Whispering Roots, which does farmers market, came, and we also were informing people that the few vouchers that we still had, if there were still people looking to get them, they had them available. But Whispering Roots was there, and they doubled every coupon. So if they were to use $9 worth of coupons, they gave them $18 worth of produce. So that was really good. And actually, they have several events, and we're looking to partner with them next year as being one of the sites that can get vouchers because they'll be able to buy produce right at that point in time. So that's good. We did tentatively, we're still accumulating all of the between expenses and what we did, but we had between our registration for all the senior centers that came, we had about 110 people that came, whether it was from Fremont or Bellevue, or actually staff here at ENOA, but we ended up with raffle baskets and everything, and we did just about $5,000 that we grant back to the centers in $150 or less increments. They can request to get walkathon funds. So it's a good thing for them because they participate. So we just had that. Other than that, we're just getting ready to kick off the next three months of our menus with the senior centers, and doing more of, we've added like national holidays and whatnot. So like the 4th of October is apparently National Taco Day. So we're incorporating some of those things. So that's what we're working on and going into.
Hey, that's awesome. That's a lot of fun. That's really cool because people can see that and you put it on the calendar or put it on the menu and then look forward to that. So it's really cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. And then Caitlin, we'll give your synopsis of the conference at the end, but do you have anything for home delivered meals?
So we're pretty status quo as well. We're doing about 610 to 660 meals per day. In August, we had 96 total referrals, but we had 6 cancels. So we're not adding as many people as we would like to see, but about 50-50. Now those cancels aren't necessarily just people that came on and then stopped. It could be people that have moved to assisted living or passed away or etc. But it is eye-opening to see how many we're doing in a month versus how many we're canceling.
Very good. Yeah. Yep. And we'll see probably numbers change too as we head into the end of the year. So well, very good. Awesome. Any questions for Allison or Caitlin from from ENOA? Sorry, I almost said Aging Partners. Awesome. Thank you to both very much. All right, let's move on to, I think I saw Rachel. Rachel's down there. Hey, Rachel Midland.
Hello. Trying to think. I feel like it's been a really long time and we've done a lot, but I can't overall pinpoint everything that I'm working on. I did get a part-time assistant to kind of help, whether it be just kind of the day-to-day stuff of making sure things are in the right places and not just building up, like the farmers market coupon stuff is all nice and organized and getting scanned, and just all the paperwork, making sure the intakes are complete, all those pieces that kind of, get surpassed when I'm busy doing something different. And she'll also be filling in when site supervisors are out or home delivered meal routes aren't covered. So she's kind of a be all end all for me, which is wonderful. And she's fitting in really well. So with having her take care of some of that, it's helped me be able to get to some sites and start just doing some pre-monitoring and making sure everything is running the way it's supposed to before we get into monitoring season. And other than that, it's just really trying to crunch down and figure out prioritizing who's getting home delivered meals and all of those things now. Well, the money is still heavier, I guess, so that when the end of the excess funding and all of those things happen, we've already dwindled down to a sustainable level. Just making sure that the prioritized people are getting the home delivered meals is the first option, and trying to get the others to go to the congregate meal. And our congregate meal numbers, we stopped to go meals at all of our sites. And we went, you know, I'll just, one site, for example, average between 20 to 40 on an average day of people who came in to eat. And then our big days were 60, 70, you know, when it was chicken fried steak or something, you know, exciting. And now they're averaging 50 plus a day at those sites. So a lot of the people who were partaking in the to-go meals have switched over and are coming and joining the meal in the congregate setting. So that's kind of exciting.
That's good.
It makes it a fun experience to have activities and more people involved. And so.
Well, good. Yeah. And I think that it's, yeah, for sure. It's certain areas, you know, are experiencing kind of that sense of community that they want to, you know, maintain, whereas other centers are just like, you know, whether they have individuals that are, you know, aren't able to attend or whatever. So yeah, just have to kind of draft it and tailor it towards your community's needs and what they expect and want. So, but no, good. It sounds like you guys are doing what fits the community best, and doing that. So that's good. That's really good. And glad you got an assistant. That's really nice. And
It
that's
is.
always good to have. And you're enjoying this on the road, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Any other questions for Rachel at Midland? All right. If not, then let's move to Angie at West Central. How's it going, Angie?
Hello there. I'm on time
Hey.
today.
Oh, you're fine.
I tried to get on the Zoom call yesterday. It was a
Yeah,
day.
I got it. Got notifications. Angie's in the waiting room, and I say, I'm like, Angie, it's not today. That's fine.
Anxious to get through
I've done that before.
Yeah. We don't have anything really too new going on. I'm trying to it seems like we're busy all the time too, but we're just to-go meals are kind of down. I was surprised on some of them going down. I figure some of them might stay the same or incorporate more working seniors, but congregates slowly climbing. Home deliveries, I would say, is staying pretty steady. I'm working on trying to come up with some ideas for our kitchen managers meeting. So if anybody has ideas for that or something new that's going on that we can share with them, I would love to hear those ideas. So
That's a great
that's
question.
what I have.
Yeah, that's a great question. I know some of you all have done kitchen managers meetings. And Andrea, are you looking for like activities, or are you looking for topics?
Topics, yeah, and maybe a fun activity just to kind of bring them all together and bond. We don't get them all together too often, maybe once, if not twice a year at the most. So it's getting that, bringing those resources in for them, and also getting some peer connections. We got a lot of new ones out there, so.
That's a good question. Anybody have any ideas, thoughts?
This is Sue from South Central. Can you hear me okay? I'm driving from a senior center.
Oh, yeah, we can hear.
Okay, we thought, Carol Erickson from Comstock has really nice home delivered, meal things. And I'm going to have her bring that in, and I might see what everybody else is doing. I mean, if there's been any changes, but she has, the reusable ones, and I really can't comment too much now because I don't have any of that information in front of me to see what she called it. But, they have those plug-in bags, and it's just, everything's just really works out well, and the meals arrive, hot and are good. I thought maybe I'd have a section on that. always have the health inspector come talk about, food safety, sanitation, any changes in the regs. And I know that one time we did a black light, one time we had the extension talk about chocolate, just all the different types of chocolate and the health benefits, or just spice it up with the different antioxidant, benefits of the spices. This is crazy. This is kind of a sad thing, but my sister-in-law passed, and she was a home ec teacher for 35 years. And of course, she always did everything with her students. And we were having a sale, and I told my brother, I'll take her cookie cutters. Holy crap, there's like 150 cookie cutters. So I think we're going to do a cookie cutter Christmas or something, and then bring in a recipe, and then I'll just, have a bunch out they can take home, or maybe do a tree full of the cookie cutters. Something kind of, do that early December sometime, I don't know. Maybe do that, or just, talk about, then Cashway had their health different containers used like for soup and oatmeal. So that's kind of something I thought, we could bring in samples of that. That was just a couple thoughts I had lately.
Yeah, so I think you cut out just a tiny bit there at the end, but
oh well.
that's okay. No,
it's just a couple things. The thing was, I know it's kind of hilly where I'm driving, but it was just where this company, he'll send you free samples of their, their not styrofoam, but a little heavier duty plastic.
Yeah. Yes.
And it'll work out good for the soup, for they're doing a stew in the winter. So I got some samples from them on that, and I don't know what all, just that was just a couple things, and it's hard to kind of come up with something that's fun and exciting for them to have a good time too. I mean, you want to learn, but you also want some fun stuff along the way. So
very true. Oh, that's a good idea, Sue. Thank you so much. Thank you for calling in on from the road too.
Yeah, actually I had a call Ron. I got a number. I left off a 0 at the end, I guess. So
that's all right.
I put 2 pounds. Yeah. Oh, God.
Rachel's calling in from the road. Sue's calling in from the road. Thank you so much. Y'all are busy. I totally understand that. So thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah. Yes, Allison. Yes, I know.
I was just going to say, I came from a background in hospital food service, and I'm actually a certified dietary manager, but have ServSafe instructor and proctor. And I have started every month send to all of the centers for anyone that's volunteering in the kitchen or the managers, that it's just like a quick hand washing sheet that they go through and acknowledge that they've done it. And each month there's a different thing, which I'd be happy to share some of those flyers that I can get from the National Restaurant Association and ServSafe. And there are some fun games and quizzes and stuff that I can put in there, but I would be happy to share some of that information, which is good for.
Please do, because you cut out when I'm going through these hills too. So that would be great if you could send out something. So that would, it's always nice to see that. Thank you.
Yes, Allison, I would love to hear and see some of that if you would share.
Sure.
It's awesome. Yeah, very good. Those are all really good ideas. Thank you, Sue. Thank you, Allison, very much. That's really good. Anybody else think of anything for Angie? If not,
we've had the National Restaurant Association come out and do a ServSafe training with all of our kitchen managers so that they are certified with their food handler's permit. It's not anything that their local health department requires, but it was something that we provided as a development type of training, and that went over really well. I would second what Sue said about the health inspector coming out. That was really, really beneficial for our kitchen managers to have the health inspector come out and just talk about what he's looking for and some of the reasons why he might may issue some of the recommendations that he does. That was really beneficial for our kitchen managers to get a little bit of a more insight on the why.
Do you have them come out every time on those meetings, or just periodic?
No, we just did it. So I do, like, I think you mentioned you're doing this like once, maybe twice a year. We did it with 1 year I do the same thing. So I do all of our staff one time a year. Last year I had the health inspector come out, and then this year I had the National Restaurant Association come out. So both of them were really, really good.
We did have that.
I have the health every year.
What was that, Sue?
Every year I invite the health inspector to come speak on updates or just to give, in service on food safety and sanitation. And I'm going to see if he has something new. Well, 1 year he gave out like the top 30 things that are the most noted when the inspections are being done out in the area. And I always thought that was very, very interesting. And then another time we talked about the gloves, the different types of gloves, and what was important. And you just because you got gloves on, you can't wear them all the time. People have some. Most of them are very knowledgeable, but some don't think that you're safe. You just put them on, and that's not how it is. So, we just try to talk about that, and then about the test strips, and about the different types of sanitizing agents, stuff like that. But now I try to have him every year, and of course we always invite him for lunch, and he always likes that too. So that helps.
Yeah, I bet that always helps. Yeah, having a free lunch as well. That's always good. That's cool. Well, very good. Yeah, those are all really good ideas. Okay. Well, very good. Well, if you think of anything else, email Angie. This is a great opportunity, I think, to brainstorm on some of these calls and share that information, because I know you guys have done things in the past. So hopefully, Angie, that helps. And any other questions for West Central? If not, we'll move on to, speaking of your answer, Sue, do you want to go next, Sue, at South Central?
I could, sure. I look like I'm in good road here.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, it's Senior Center Month, so we sent out information about that. I can't remember what the theme was, but we sent out that information, and on our Facebook page we're posting the pictures of the front and sometimes the inside of everybody's senior center. So we're doing that and kind of celebrate Senior Center Month. Can you hear me? 'Cause I'm going, hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. You're good.
I'm sorry, what, Eric?
Yeah, we can hear you still.
Oh, okay, good. So that took care of Senior Center Month. Been busy with those vouchers. I think I finally got rid of all of them for everybody, and then we'll work on the other stuff getting completed. But we've been busy with the Heart Association. They gave us that grant for the Peterson Center in Ravenna, as I mentioned before, and all of that protocol and everything's in place. So then they wanted to enter into another agreement, and I said, well, that was fine, but we needed more money, not being greedy, but you can't get nice blood pressure machines that they can put their arm in for $5,000. It doesn't work. And agreement with Sherman County and Harlan County, which would be Alma and Luke City. We're going to work on doing that, and then Deb Irick from the Peterson Center and I have to go be on a panel in Central City at their medical facility. And then they want me to speak at the Go Red Heart Association about our project in Kearney. So I thought I'll do that, but I don't want to do anything else, as terrible as that sounds. But, that's what kind of our side projects have been, and just out and about trying to visit the centers, do assessments, visit with the people. I did talk about the update on the flu vaccine, that type of thing today. to the centers. I got that information from the CDC website, and that was about it. Just you know how it is. Just
Okay, cut out a little bit there, but yeah, no, that sounds good. Yeah, and don't forget, yeah, I know that there's some new information coming out on the new COVID vaccine, the updated one. So that might be good information to get out to folks, as I believe CDC said it would be available mid-September, mid to late September. So definitely it's flu shot season as well as the updated COVID shot season. Any other questions for Sue at South Central?
sorry about the bad reception. It's just general things. Just try to do what we can.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Let's move
You're welcome.
on. Thank you very much. Let's see here. Do we have, I see Samantha on here. Let's go ahead and go to Samantha at 8. Oh, what's going on?
So we finished our monitoring, which was taking up most of our time preparing for that, and really using the nice weather as an opportunity to visit my sites and do assessments. So that's what I've been spending most of my time doing. We're currently working on our quarterly newsletter, so that's also been taking up a lot of our time. Aside from that, nothing really new here, just taking a breather, and the new fiscal year has started, and so I really just like to use this time to see my sites and visit with the participants and staff. We are still fully staffed, which is exciting for us. We kept to-goes, and we really like those out here, and everything's pretty much remained steady. We do have a lot of people who are going to be leaving for the winter. They go, to Nevada or Arizona. So we'll probably see some decreases there. Sorry, I did not put my phone on Do Not Disturb. But yeah, really, we're just trucking right along. Nothing really new.
That's awesome. Okay. Very good. Any questions for Samantha at Aon? And then I wasn't sure, is Carmen on from Blue Rivers? Carmen or Carla, I think they may not have been able to make it. That's okay. That's why we record this. So okay, very good. Well, does anybody have any other questions for anybody else? Think of anything? Thank you again for the brainstorm for Angie's question. That was good. All right, well, let's move on then. And I had asked Caitlin if she would share with us just some information that she got from the conference that she went to, which was the Meals on Wheels of America conference in Phoenix, Arizona. And so I'll turn this over to Caitlin and let her give us an update. Thank you so much.
So it's always interesting to go every year and hear how different states. Some are full volunteer based, some are paid driver based. Some of them have.
Oh, I think Caitlin, I think your volume cut out there just a little bit.
Can you hear me?
It was loud there for a second, and then it like went away.
Can you hear me now?
A little bit. It's a little quiet. Try it again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now you're good.
Perfect. All right. So it's always interesting to hear how different programs operate throughout the United States. There are people that come that have like 50 Meals on Wheels clients to thousands of Meals on Wheels clients they deliver to every day. There's some that do a hot meal, some that do frozen. It's just very interesting to hear the different dynamics that everybody has. I did find it interesting. There's a program in South Carolina that operates solely on donations. They have no federal, state, local funds at all. It's all donations. She told me that they had a chili cook-off and they raised $72,000 in one day. And I was like, that is insane. But It was interesting for sure. Some prepare their own meals, while others use a caterer that they contract with. There's lots of discussions about eligibility and wait lists at the conference. There was a lady from Florida, and she said she had over a 600 client wait list, and some of those people had been on for like 2 years and hadn't been able to get on meals yet, which was crazy to me. We don't have a wait list at this time. So that was just really interesting to hear about. But it's really good to hear like different collaborations on what people are doing, what works for them, what didn't work, fresh ideas from the conference. Thing they do at the end of the conference is an exhibit, and we have our meals that are sealed by an Oliver machine, and Oliver was there, and they have I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's like a label that you can put on the meal that will tell what's in it, what day it was prepared, what day you should consume it by, anything like that. So our caterer is actually working with Oliver so we can get these labels added to our home delivered meals. And I think it'll be great. A lot of our clients will call. We give them menus, but they will still call and ask, "What did I eat today?" or "What was in my meal?" So it would be good for them, and then also for drivers. They pull the meal out and they're like, "I'm not sure what this is. It might be chicken, it might be pork," and they'll hand it out, but they don't know for sure. So it's a good way for our drivers and our clients to know what they're serving. And so that was our biggest takeaway from this year's conference, was getting the labels on our meals. So just a little bit about what
And I think and that's amazing to know, like the numbers that you have and some of those other places, and I guess the ability to do some of those to do some of the fundraising events and just basically raise all that money in one shot. I mean, that's amazing.
yeah.
Um,
A group of us were like, well, you should probably like venture out a little bit, and they're like, oh no, we do good. We're perfectly
yeah.
fine. So
Yeah, I always wonder, like, I always think about that. And one of the things that I think, and let me know what you guys think too, is that, when you think about doing fundraising events, what's the biggest thing that I think holds people back? It's number one, you have to have the help to do it, and you have to have the time to do it. And it's almost like it's hard for people to say, like, well, I'm going to waste a Saturday doing this fundraising event when, I could be doing other things or whatever. And it's hard for that. Maybe for individuals who are like, well, look, I'm here, Monday through Friday. This is what I do. I come in and I do my stuff. We don't do extra fundraising events. We don't do extra stuff. But who's even to say that you could, for some reason, you could do a fundraising event, non-OAA fundraising event for a center, for a meal. Um, you know, uh, Basically, if you were doing something where you weren't serving like an OAA funded meal that day, like let's say it's a Friday, let's say it's a Friday before a football game and you're having a chili feed. I'm just thinking out loud here. And you get stuff donated in. And there's no OAA strings attached here. This is all fundraising for a center, for whatever. And you can have people come in and say, hey, look, you know what? We're going to do Monday through Thursday. And then on Friday, we're going to have a Husker chili feed or whatever. Volleyball, of course, not football. And we're going to have people come in and we're going to do like something like you just described, where the community could rally behind it and support a senior center or a program like that. And obviously, they don't have to plan for or do OAA stuff for that particular one day, but look what comes out of it, and you would have the help available because they're already doing their work schedule. So,
there
oh,
was
sorry.
a program, I don't remember where they were from, but there was a program that something similar, but it was for the home delivered, and they would
Mhm.
have different organizations that would sponsor the meal for the day. And so
That's awesome.
the organization would pack the meal, help prepare the meal in the kitchen, and then they would be the ones that were actually paying for the meal for that day.
Wow, that's awesome. That's even better because I mean, like it not only would it. I mean, you're thinking about it. It's just one day. You know, it's one day to include, and it's also it's drawing people into a center. It's drawing people into a place, and it's also giving them a little bit of a break from or you know if they're serving kind of the same things, it gives people more variety, and it gives them another choice, something to get excited about, and it's during normal business hours, so it's kind of just a normal part of the daily function. Um, that way, you don't have to plan anything extra. I don't know.
And like in one of our sites, their local Runza
Mhm.
does Runza Fridays, and so they provide the Runza, and then we only have to do the other components of the meal. And so it kind of completes having to purchase the meat for that day, or you know, it's
Right.
not necessarily bringing in dollars, but it's saving dollars of what we'd be spending to cook that meal.
Right, exactly. And I remember talking to Renza about that uh, back during in the midst of COVID when we wanted to do Renza meals to provide just, you know, basic things, or they're like, yeah, we'll dish out whatever, you know, we'll give them the milk and the Renzas or whatever we can afford to, you know, get rid of that stuff because it's just, you know, we get rid of it anyways. And so yeah, that was part of the deal that they were able to do. So I mean, yeah, little things like that, and it was during the normal business hours. I think that's one thing, one of the biggest challenges. Stop me if I'm wrong, but for me, if I was trying to help, you know, organize something like this and say like, okay, well, I need my volunteers and I need my employees to get together. I'm not going to have them come in on a Saturday. Nobody's going to do that, you know, but maybe a Thursday or a Friday or whatever, if we're going to do something special and make it, you know, unique, you could incorporate something like that, and that might draw more attention. So that's a great example, Rachel, and also Caitlin, with just supplementing those things, making it exciting. So yeah, those are great. Those are great, and like you said, Caitlin, all the money that they raised in like one shot, that's impressive.
Very impressive.
I mean, that's like that's like holy moly. So yeah, I mean, they could do it with anything, and it could be something where, like I said, um, if it's a non-OAA thing, you know, you don't have to worry about. You can just serve one thing almost, you know, a bowl of chili with cinnamon rolls and desserts. I don't, whoever wants to do it, you could have people bring in their famous recipes or whatever. Literally, it's just kind of like a non-OAA day, but it's also serving to help fundraise um, for that center, you know, and then you get back to your regular menu, obviously. Um, but yeah, I don't know.
This is kind of an odd question about that.
Yeah.
So when you're doing payroll and all those things, like the program we use to decide what pays their paychecks, like which source, you know, if they're only home delivered meal cooks, or you know, whatever the case may be, if you're having it as a non-OAA meal that day, how do you justify that payroll wise? You know what I mean? Like, would you still charge it under an OAA meal, or that make, I don't know if that's,
Yeah, well, it's exactly, and you're because you're basically like, if you're a nutrition, let's say you're just a site that has activities, right? You don't serve a meal, but you
right?
have someone working the site, it would be the same way, because like if you have someone there who's working the site, and you have a manager, or you have someone who's working to keep the lights on, or they're doing a certain activity or whatever, and like I said, this is just one day, you know, one day.
Right.
So basically, you would look at it in a way that, yeah, you're not serving, you're not utilizing that funding, like 3C funding, to do the meal, you know, but you're
So more like
utilizing
a social
free
activity
B
or,
funding, right? Yes,
okay.
exactly. and you can shift those around and just utilize that to substitute that specific meal time. Basically, it all just comes down to the meal time. You're not using that money to purchase the food. Rather, this is about fundraising. So you would just, if you're going to do it as a fundraising event, do it as a fundraising event and say that that's what you're going to include. Because as far as, trying to sustain funding for the center, you can do that on your own, and we encourage that to happen. And just like the example that Caitlin gave, I mean, you can get so much more out of maybe one event as opposed to trying to fit it into another schedule that was less attended, or it's just hard for individuals to try to attend.
Okay.
I don't know. These are just ideas. These are thoughts, ideas, and that's why we kind of have these meetings, just to think about stuff like that. I just noticed that it would. That's just my opinion. Is that it would be hard. It would be hard to do something. You're not going to do something on a Sunday. Or Saturdays are hard too. They're hard enough. But during a business hour where you are at least doing some sort of activity, and there's also social things going on as well at the senior center, it's providing some sort of socialization, and maybe people will come together and they'll play cards and they'll hang out afterwards, and maybe there's people in the community that'll come out that usually wouldn't see at a center, but they're there for that particular event, and so that can also draw in more people. So I don't know, different things. Any other thoughts? Well, there's certainly a lot of different innovative ways to include more some of these processes into meal programs. And I always encourage you guys to go to the Nutrition Resource Center website, and there's some great innovative ways to supplement or think about fundraising and whatnot. On the website, at least last time I was on there, they had some information on fundraising. And let's see here. Yeah, they have some quick guides on identifying the total cost of meals, sustainability, and revenue generation for senior center nutrition programs. Maximizing use of commercial kitchens, guides for, there's toolkits, business planning, sustainability, tips for fundraising. They have a whole thing here. They have a whole, actually it's a 12-page, it is a 12-page document on the Nutrition Resource Center website that talks about fundraising. And so, I mean, they talk about, connecting your mission to donors, widening the lens and moving beyond individual stories, etc., helping funders see investments for the future, etc., etc., etc. So there's some general stuff in there, but it does talk about focusing on concrete, innovative solutions and just coming up with new, innovative ways. So I don't know. All right. Well, thank you, Caitlin. And anybody have any other questions, things they could think of?
I do have a question, Eric.
Yeah.
For the farmers market coupons, getting the stuff over to you digitally.
Right.
Is there a certain way you want that organized? Like, do you want all of it zipped into a file per county? Do you want it all in one humongous scan?
Try to do it. That's a good question. I don't know. I'm gonna try to see what works best. As long as I can, as long as it sends through email. I mean, you can put it in zip drive, that's fine. If you want to do it that way, then I can take it out and then put the documents in another folder. That's fine. If you want to
Okay.
scan them all on a PDF, that's fine too, as long as it fits. I mean,
Do you want
PDFs
them?
are.
Do you want them grouped by the type of form they are, or do you want single per person file? Like,
I'd like to try to do it so I can put a label on what the document is, so that I can stick
each.
that. Mm-hmm.
So, like, for every single application form, do you want each one scanned separately, or just the pile for that county all in one scan?
If you can just take each center, yeah, if you could just have each center and basically like the folder, right? Like
Right.
you would give me the folder. If you could
Okay.
just take that information and just keep it separate like that, that's the best. That way I can say like on my Excel sheet, Adams County Senior Center,
Right.
department suspension form, receipt form,
Okay.
the applications, what they did the surveys or not, all those things, that would be best.
Okay. That works perfect. I just figured I better ask before I
Right.
create a mess.
Yeah, because believe it or not, I'm gonna have to probably print this stuff. I'm saving you costs, but I'm probably gonna have to print some of the stuff because it still has to be stored and shredded. I'm saving you the shipping cost because I don't want you to spend. I mean, I was looking at some of the cost of stuff that people spent last year. I'm getting folders in, this packet is, $25 worth
So
of,
could you just pick up the paper files of it when you do your monitoring?
I mean, if you want, I can do that. If you want to, it's up to you guys. Like I said, this is kind of a hybrid year. If you want to send them to me, you can. I have them stored. If you want to do it that way, electronically, that's perfectly fine too. It's totally up to you. I'm gonna leave it open. I really don't have a best practice for it right now because there's not really best practice for a lot of this stuff right now. I did talk to I have sent an email to Casey Foster at Department of Ag, and I have the ball in his court right now because we're going to have a meeting in January. I'm setting it earlier, and I want to have the directors and you guys and Central Bank as well as Department of Ag on a call, and I'm looking to send out a SurveyMonkey survey that would have a date where we could maybe have 1 or 2 meetings and talk about best practice. And then also, not even that, but how we're going to do next year, because this last year was a mess. And we need to know what do they expect? Because I have the agreement, and we reviewed the agreement between us and them with an attorney, and it's kind of vague. There's really not a lot of stuff that we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to keep everything. We're supposed to, do the processes we've been doing. But it kind of leaves a lot of it's kind of vague on their end. And we need to get some of these things tied down. And one of those things that needs to be tied down is the timing in which they have materials delivered. And I think you can all agree on that. The timing in which coupons are printed and delivered and distributed, because if it doesn't have a timeline or some sort of date attached to it, it creates kind of some chaos, which is what we've gone through in the past 2 years, and it's been a really big pain in the butt. So really want to try to get that down this year. I know I'm kind of going on about this, but this is what I'm trying to set up for next January, where we have everybody together. And if we can't have everybody just meet on one meeting, maybe we can do 2, or record it or do something, but I want to have at least like a 90% attendance on it, so that everybody has good input. And since we're all spread out, it's going to be a WebEx. Apparently, it's obviously going to be a WebEx. But I want to make sure that we are able to answer everybody's questions and not have to stress about it. So I know that was kind of long-winded, but does that answer your question?
Ish, yeah.
Okay. Ish.
No, it was good enough. It was good enough.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, I want you to do do what you're comfortable with. If you want me to pick them up, you can. If not, you can send them to me and scan them. I will take either way. Okay.
I just don't see the point in you printing what I'm scanning. I figured scanning would be, a nice
Well,
way to reduce all that excess.
well, and that's fine. It's just so the reason why is because depending on where you're located, some places would send their stuff directly to me, and that costs them money. So, right, unless you're picking it up from them, which in your case, if you're picking it up and you're driving around and you're picking all that stuff up, there's no shipping costs involved. But if you have some places very rural and they're sending it to you and then you're sending it to me, or they're sending it to me all the way in
Right.
Lincoln, the shipping costs add up. And I should have totaled. I don't know why I didn't, but I really should have totaled the amount of the price tags on that mail that I got last year. I just kept shaking my head about how much this was costing. It was a
Okay.
huge waste of money that's just going to be shredded. And to me, I couldn't. I was like, this is just a waste of money. So I really don't want anybody to spend any money on sending stuff in. So that's why I said, like, if there's a center that's rural and they can like just scan it and send it in
Okay.
to you guys, that's fine. But like I said, if you're making the rounds and you pick up stuff and you want to send, and when I visit you, you want to give it to me, that's fine. Whatever works for everyone. So
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome. I hope that helps. And like I said, if you guys have more questions, please let me know. Call me up or send me an email. So, all right. All right, everybody. Well, if there's no other questions, you get 5 minutes back on your day. I really appreciate you tuning in. I'm glad we could brainstorm a little bit about stuff for Angie for your meeting, and also for things that Caitlin was talking about. And so, yeah, very good. All right, everyone. You have an excellent rest of your week.
Thank you. Good luck, Rachel.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.